Hey all and welcome back. So today we have another Titans Return Titan Master, and this time we have Clobber. Clobber is sort of an homage, what I believe to be Grimlock. Head looks very much like Grimlock's design, and there's a couple interesting beast modes here. But yeah, as far as the package goes, pretty basic on the back, same card that they've been using the rest of them. So let's go ahead and open this guy up and see exactly what he's like. And here we have him in sort of a Dino Mode. And what I think is really cool about this, and I think because of this sort of concept, I find this a much more interesting figure than the other ones I've gotten so far, is that the Headmaster is part of the transformation that makes this into a T-Rex. So the mouthpiece here is actually his feet. He's inside this canopy here, and he uses his arms for the little arms there. I do think that's really clever, an interesting way of approaching this. Sort of add some diversity to the engineering of the design rather than just, oh, it's a little guy that sits in a vehicle. I do think the designer who had come up with this concept did a clever job on it. Now this is a repaint from the first wave, but I do like that they've taken this and made an Autobot sort of Grimlock tribute out of this figure. And while he's not officially Grimlock, we all know who he is. And so we've got this dinosaur, we've got some articulation in the legs, the tail here, you've got this little part here for weapon mode. His arms do move, and you do have the mouth open, but it's pegged in there, and so when you actually use it, you can't do a whole lot of different great configurations with it. You can kind of get it into an open mode like that, but that's really about it. And so let's go ahead and go to this next mode, which is sort of this flying pterodactyl bird dragon thing. So these pieces come up, which will become the wings. And then we can pop him out. And this is all so wonderfully simple. So, now that you guys can see, the way this works, this will go down. This is actually going to act more like a third leg to keep the figure balanced. Call it landing gear or whatever. So the wings come down, which was the belly before. So we have the wings out. What was the tail is now the dragon head. So that's pretty cool. And then you have the pegs that we're finding on all these figures. And what he'll do is he'll pop in there. And then you sort of have this dragon rider. And that's an alright mode. That's pretty cool. They've added this additional configuration there that does go along with Beast. And it's not just simple and boring. I do think this is pretty clever as far as how they carried it out. And it's got some decent paint apps. While the robot mode doesn't have anything but the yellow for the chest and then the single color for the rest of the body, there is a painted visor back there and the black face. But they went a little extra effort on the little beast mode. So yeah, that's how that works. I do think that's pretty cool how they set up, but I do think the T-Rex mode is probably the better out of the two modes. Now, let's go ahead and go into head mode. Let's go ahead and put him on a body. I still only have the one body. And then put the rest in gun mode. Actually, first what I'll do is I'll put it in gun mode because this, again, like the others, sort of incorporates it into the design. And really what it is you're in T-Rex mode. You fold the head down. The feet will come forward. You can see there are holes there, which will be new barrels. And there's a little groove there that you can kind of lock it into. And then you straighten out the back. His head slides into the slot. And then you just lock that down. And there you sort of have this weapon mode. And other than the head, seeing the eyes in there, it doesn't really stand out too much. I mean, it kind of looks like a stock in a way. But yeah, you have a dinosaur gun. Very Power Rangers now, as far as some of the feeling of this. And the peg is a little hard to get in there. Seems kind of big. I don't want to stress out putting stress marks on the hand, but this peg, the base of it is kind of wide of mine. I might have to sand it down. Okay, it goes in that hand a little bit better. But then it pops off. So that's something to note. It's so tight in there that you can't even twist it back into a proper position. These little pegs will just pop right out. So now the hand's in there, I'm going to need to use a tool to press that out because it is such a tight fit. So that is something to be aware of. I would knock on that, is that this plastic here is somewhat flexible, and this peg is tight. So something is going to need to be sanded. I'd consider modifying the peg before anything else, just because you're going to use this in more figures than you will want to do all the hands. So let me pull this with a tool real quick. And luckily I always have a pair of pliers lying around. So yeah, that is a knock. It's not a great weapon mode anyway, so I will probably leave him in some sort of beast mode when he's not in use. But still cool with all these configurations. So let's go ahead and pop him out and see what he looks like without the rider. And it's strange. I mean, it doesn't work. You only have part of a head here. So without the head unit, it's just, without Clobber installed in this little bot mode, it does not work. So he's best probably left in a bird mode when you just have him sort of sitting out. Let's move him to the side. And just like all the others, hands fold forward, waist folds down, and then you have the head mode. And this is a pretty good looking head. Immediately recognizable as Grimlock. I like the coloring they did on there. It is a nice looking head. So let's go ahead and pop off that one. And see how he looks like that. And this actually is suitable for a Grimlock. I mean, if you consider the War Within series, where he was sort of this Cybertronian tank, if this was recoded with a couple different colors here on the chest, got rid of the greens and changed them out for maybe more silvers or something, or even gold, I think this would be a suitable Grimlock repaint. Now, with the yellow on here, even though it's more of a matte yellow compared to this glossy paint, it does go with it. So if you had the weapon here, it does sort of mesh in a way, adds a little bit of uniformity to it. But overall, it's not bad. It's a cool head sculpt, adds some variety to the playability. The T-Rex mode is great, bird mode is okay, weapon mode is meh. Maybe not all pegs came out as big as mine, but sadly this peg needs to be kind of sanded a little bit to be useful without risking putting stress marks on the hand or whatever. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.